you warm now?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just, the crane, you've gone too far this time. Hello everybody and welcome to Toyah at Home. Oh, this week everything has accelerated so much. All week I've had TV companies, press in the house, getting ready for Posh Pop, which is just the visibility and the kind of recognition. I'm feeling it, it's tangible. So ITV News have been here this week. I've talked to Johnny Walker. Midlands Today has been here this week. The Daily Telegraph has been here this week. The coverage is looking really great, which is very exciting. And on a slightly heart-wrenching note, my husband has left for 2 months touring. And it's been very, very hard. So this is me saying goodbye to my beautiful husband for 2 months. Saying goodbye to his luggage, his guitars. I was in tears. It was so hard. This is a little glimpse of how it is being married to a musician.
Where the woman is at least as powerful as the man. Well, here's Toyah and Robin. What are you doing, lovey?
Have you got enough luggage?
No, lovey, I'm underpacked. Help me, help me.
But didn't a van come and pick other luggage up a month ago?
Yes,
to
it
post?
did, dear.
Okay.
How's your lovey?
My baby. My baby.
I shall be right back.
My darling husband is off on tour for 2 months. But mind you, I'm off on tour for 3 months, but I'm based in the UK. This is the first time we've been apart in 17 months, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's a wrench, but this is what we do. And I see the last 17 months as not only terrifying, but having been the most incredible privilege of our relationship.
There's delicate things in there.
Yeah, no problem at all.
And he's off to Heathrow.
I shall give you a kiss in just a moment, lovey.
He still manages to overpack. He packs more than I do.
Lovey, we're just going to interrupt your filming so I can have a piss.
Oh God, that was so hard. So that was my beautiful husband driving away to Heathrow for 2 months in the USA. I thought I'd be okay. I thought that I would love the solitude, I would love my own autonomy, but actually, you know, my beautiful husband is 75 years old and I want him here. His tour will go incredibly well. It's a huge tour. It'll generate $20 million within the USA economy. And you know, that's a good thing at a time like this. Oh, but boy, it's a wrench. We've had 17 months together. And It's been a huge learning curve. We've developed Toyah and Robert, which we love and we're going to be taking further. But boy, my heart is missing him so much. Because of that, we're going to start with a song today that is very much inspired by Robert, and it's called The Angel in You, and it's off In the Court of the Crimson Queen. And this is me performing at home. Enjoy. It's heartfelt.
Give me your hands, I'm leading you up the stairs to Wonderland. I've been meaning to do this for oh so many years. We're gonna count the stars and all the space junk sitting on Mars. Never too late to make a start. I'm gonna steal your innocent heart. There's an angel in you and the devil's in me. If beauty is skin deep, how deep is your sea? My head's in the pillow, I dare not speak. There's an angel in you and the devil's in me. Time was a traitor who picked like a crow at my bleeding heart. I had to be near you. I dance all alone in the dark. We're gonna count the stars and all the space junk sitting on Mars. Never too late to make a start. I'm gonna steal your innocent heart. There's an angel in you and the devil's in me. If beauty is skin deep, how deep is your sea? My head's on the pillow, I dare not speak. There's an angel in you and the devil's in me. Now that you're here, we'll never, never be apart. Angel. Devil's in me. You're an angel, and we dare not sleep. Give me a hand, I'm leading you up the stairs to Wonderland. I've been meaning to do this for oh so many years. We're gonna count the stars and all the space junk sitting on Mars. It's never too late to make a start. I'm gonna steal your innocent heart. There's an angel in you and the devil's in me. If beauty is skin deep, how deep is your sea? My head's on the pillow, we dare not speak. There's an angel in you and the devil's in me. There's an angel in you and the devil's in me. If beauty is skin deep, how deep is your sea? My head's on the pillow, we dare not speak. There's an angel in you and the devil's in me. There's an angel in you and the devil's in me. If beauty is skin deep, how deep is your sea?
That was The Angel in You off In the Court of the Crimson Queen. It was such a lovely song to revisit and sing again. The last time I sang that song live was with Rock Choir at Birmingham Symphony Hall, where there was a choir of 500 very brilliant women behind me, and it sounded amazing. I loved that experience. So to visit the song again on this rather remarkable time with my husband being away for 2 months, it was really, really nice. It put a different meaning, a different slant on the song. Thank you everyone for your questions this week. And I want to say how proud I am of the English football team. They have just been the most incredible generation of footballers, and wow, they have done so incredibly well. I just want to hug them all. Their mothers, their families, their fans must be so super proud of them, and big up for the England team, everything they have achieved. The first question I'm answering for you today is from Jennifer Leach. Toyah, what advice would you have for a woman in her mid-50s who wants to redirect her career, but with the limits on opportunities that go along with being a woman in her 50s? This is not going to be a short answer, Jennifer. Now, I have to take into account, I don't have a full history of who and your experience, but I would say never let your age be a barrier. Age within work should bring age experience and age wisdom, and you should be treasured for that. Age discrimination is never part of your work or never acceptable, and I like to think that we are getting beyond that kind of cliche for women within the workplace. Qualifications are vital, especially if you want to go into a large company or another company. Now, I personally think you should form your own company. Work experience, life experience, and if you have to take a qualification, an at-home university study, then take a part-time job, whatever it is, and then do your studies at home and get that qualification. You can get them online. Now, as a middle-aged person, being an eBay middle supplier is not a bad thing to do. All the really successful eBayers know their client base, they know their niche, they provide something where they import and then they send out to their client base. That is not a bad thing to do. Just study it online, it's great. Importing fair trade produce, really great thing to do. You could also exchange teaching for that. So if you're, say, importing really high-end cocoa beans, you could also do a part exchange with your time, with your employees, to go out to that site and teach English, teach what it's like to be in England, teach the children English. There's lots of exchange things you could do while being a fair trade importer. What I would say is don't be over ambitious. Start with what you know. Start small. If you're going to go into a kind of trade, do not overstock. You don't want warehouses full of stock. This is why most record companies these days pre-order, because they need to know who their buyers are and the amount of buyers. So work within your capacity, within your knowledge. Don't be over ambitious, because you will be running on your feet. You'll be landing on your feet running, and you don't want to keep falling over because of over ambition. And don't go out of your comfort zone. Always push yourself into new areas. Break your own boundaries, but do not immediately put yourself out of your own comfort zone. And you need to see what you are and what you want and what results you want. So I would advise to you, find a niche market. Is it selling vintage material? Is it selling vintage clothes? Is it cocoa beans? Is it vintage music? Is it vintage sheet music? Is it vintage vinyl? Is it vintage shoes? Find your niche market. Build a small client base that are not mass market. And within that, you can do Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can show your product. You could show how you package it, how it will be unwrapped, how it will look when it arrives in the post. There's so much you can do to visually make what you do tantalizing. Show your client base that you are totally dedicated to them. You're passionate about the produce. You're passionate about customer care. One of the most remarkable stories I've ever heard within a woman in business is Judy Garner of Garner Pickles, who is our neighbour where we live. A remarkable woman who started by making her pickles at home, pickled onions, and selling them on market stalls, and she just got the recipe right, and she had to start mass producing. She was so popular. So she took a warehouse building outside on the town perimeter. She started supplying to supermarkets, and eventually Epicure bought up her recipe for an unbelievable amount of money, and she was set for life. But one of the remarkable things about the beginning of her career, I think on the market stall, she was selling cheese as well as pickled onions. And she received a message, it was about 20 years ago, from a man in New York who wanted to experience his childhood tastes again and wanted to taste the pickled onions and the cheese. And he just happened to be very, very poorly. Judy took a plane out to New York with her produce. I mean, how she got it through immigration, I don't know. And she delivered it in person to this man in New York. I mean, my God, talk about dedication, talk about passion and belief in your product. And that man was a very, very happy man. That is an extraordinary tale of going beyond what you need to do. But she believed that her client was king. Her client was queen. They were above the product. They were what you put first. Another success story is my husband's company, DGM, Discipline Global Mobile. He has a relatively small client base when you look at worldwide numbers. It's within 1 million, but he has 250 dedicated buyers that will buy every box set he puts out there. 250, that is achievable. So Jennifer, if you're setting up a company, aim for that number. 250 buyers who are dedicated to your quality, to your passion, to your image, and to your message. And if you're lucky, you will grow to 1 million. Now, there is a company that I adore. It's a satchel company, which again started with a woman making school satchels in her home that just took off and went to millions. It can be done, but know your niche, know your product, know what you want, and know that there's people out there that want that niche. So Jennifer, good luck. And lastly, do not let your age be a barrier. Knowledge is all you need. Knowledge, dedication, homework, putting the time in, putting the hours in, and fly. I hope you do incredibly well. Our next question is from Michael O'Brien, and I'm a little bit flummoxed and baffled by the question, so I'm going to interpret it my way. Michael, you ask, if you could appear on the most famous TV show in the world, which song and performance would represent you? So I don't know if you mean an historical performance, a historical song by someone else, or what would I do? So for me, what is one of the most famous TV shows in the world? Well, it would have to be Saturday Night Live for me, because it's given birth to the greatest comedians ever, I feel. They are very tongue-in-cheek, they're very irreverent, they're very clever, and I love the energy of the show. So I would want to do with Will Ferrell, Jimi Hendrix, All Along the Watchtower. I would like to be on guitar playing the lead. So we're talking about fantasy here, real fantasy, but my goodness, it's something to aim for. And I would love to do a really honourable, serious performance of All Along the Watchtower that at the end could go into some mayhem with me and Will Ferrell. And you've got to bear in mind, Will Ferrell is at least 1 foot 2 inches taller than me, so I think we could get up some really fun things on camera and some great visuals. So Michael, thank you for that question, but I've been pondering the question for a few days, and I thought, well, anything goes. What would that performance be? Well, worldwide fame belongs to Doctor Who. America loves the series Doctor Who. I think the whole world loves this series. It's a groundbreaking series. It's still remarkably successful. So does it have to be Saturday Night Live? You say, Michael, the most famous TV show in the world, what song and performance would represent you? So why can't I be on Doctor Who and suddenly appearing out of the TARDIS or out of another timeline? I mean, it could be a parallel world, and I just step into the world of Doctor Who as Toyah and perform Levitate. I mean, my goodness, wouldn't that be incredible? To just suddenly, boom, appear in glorious costume as myself in Doctor Who and just perform Levitate. Yeah, I'll go with that. Scrap Saturday Night Live. If Will Ferrell could be with me on Doctor Who, let's do that. Doctor Who, Levitate, on another parallel planet. Yeah, parallel time, Levitate. I've made my mind up, Michael. I discovered my answer live online with you. That's it, full stop. Wow, that thought makes me so happy. Will Ferrell, Doctor Who, me, all along the Watchtower. Dean Beadle, you ask, what is the overall sound of posh pop? How would I describe it? Very early on in the creative process, Simon Darlow and I talked about how incredible the journey of music was from 1973 to 1979, mainly because of technology, the beginning of synthesizers, everything changing into digital towards the end of that decade and into the early 80s. And I felt that people like Bowie, who were androgynous, who were able to wear makeup, wear women's clothes, all of that. Then you had Human League experimenting with synthesizers. It was a remarkable time in history, a remarkable time in music history. And here we were, Simon Darlow and I, creating a new album in a pandemic. So I wanted to juxtapose. I've learned how to say it now, because on every interview in the last year, I can't say that word. So I've had it on my lap so I don't mess up. So Simon and I decided with a wink and a nod that we were going to juxtapose 1973 to 79 over the pandemic year. And the meaning of that is we wanted to make semi-comparisons of have we actually moved on? Has life changed? Have sexual politics got better? Have world politics got better? Have we moved on at all from the 70s into the new millennium? So the overall sound of posh pop is one of incredible pop hooks that have come mainly from Simon, some have come from me, very imaginative lyrics with incredible kind of cinematic visualizations within them. They're picturesque lyrics, incredible guitar playing from Fripp, and capturing, in a way, those glorious groundbreaking moments of Talking Heads television, of Roxy Music. And I'm not talking about plagiarism here, because Fripp, me and Darlow are very experienced, advanced songwriters. So it's very much a wink and a nod to how we felt in that decade when we first heard that music, which was groundbreaking music, and it was joyous. We wanted to dance, we wanted to become musicians ourselves, we wanted to write. That's what we've tried to capture, is that moment, that zeitgeist that made us want to be musicians. So we go into very dark areas. There's a song called Kill the Rage, which is about the polarization of our male-female ability within us. So yes, biologically, we're born either male or female, but I believe that within all of us, we are polarized. There's yin and yang, and Kill the Rage is about me fighting my masculinity. Not in a negative way. I'm talking about the polarization of thoughts that are sometimes gentle, sometimes angry, sometimes aggressive, sometimes begging for forgiveness. It's about that polarization, the yin and yang, the male, the feminine, which I believe we all have within us, but we're not taught to think that way. And perhaps part of the future is we are taught to think that way. So we get over this hurdle of seeing people as male and female, when really we are utterly unique. We are people first who are born into a biological body. So it's about, I think, a need of a change of attitude, of always addressing and recognizing that part of us will always be polarized by the fact that when we are developing in the womb, at the very beginning of us in our mother's womb, we are both male and female. And I think that intention stays with us right through to birth and to who we become as developed personalities. And Kill the Rage is, kind of explores that a little bit. It's a conversation with myself on that song. And then we have Monkeys, which is purely anger at world trade and being governed by world politics. It seems the people with the best intentions who go into politics suddenly are trapped by the boundaries of everything else within the world, and we don't seem to evolve or move on from what makes us angry, the things that shouldn't be happening, from deforestation to world plastics, how we get rid of them, to kind of world wars. We don't seem to move on from that. And Monkeys is a kind of me sitting in the audience, looking at the world stage, commenting with you. Take Me Home is about the fact that we're a universe now. We're no longer just a planet. Everyone is moving out into the universe. And Take Me Home is about protecting our home planet. And Barefoot on Mars is about how family history can radically affect our lives, our futures, and future generations. It's a really deep album, all within very beautiful pop songs. So Dean, I hope that I've answered that for you. Now we're going to go out with a song that was released yesterday off the album. It's a really, really clever song. We came up with it. I arrived at the studio and Simon Darlow ran out of the studio and he said, I've just finished a 3-hour Zoom. We're going to write a song called Zoom Zoom. And this is it. I hope you love it. I hope you enjoy it. We will see you tonight for a reminiscent moment of Toyah and Robert at home. And also we have a very brilliant Sunday lunch for you tomorrow. You might be guessing by now that Robert and I did an awful lot of pre-filming knowing he was going out of the country, because we're passionate about our audience, we're passionate about Toyah and Robert, and we want you to still have that enjoyment. So this is Zoom Zoom. Stay safe, everyone. See you out there, because I am going to be doing the festivals by the end of the month. Yay! Such good news. Lots of love to you all. Zoom Zoom. Lots of love from Toyah.
Zoom zoom. I wanna be a beat girl. I wanna be a rock star. I wanna be a beatnik. I wanna go far. Start a revolution. Sitting on a beach in the burning sun. Look at me on my iPhone. I am the number one. What do you believe in now? To suit the view. You created a fairy tale. If you're the future, I wanna know. like Andy Warhol. Wanna be a star. Do you wanna start a revolution? Do you wanna start a revolution?